Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Vision Gaming, the Invitational, the second edition. After 16 teams battle, we are now down to our final two. But we will get into more details in just a second here. But still, Intercombat hasn't changed up. But Spooks, how are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful this morning, really. We've switched from evenings till morning now, and it should be good. Both teams fully rested, ready to go on this wonderful day.
Well, it's nice to see rested. I know Spooks ran to his bed, and before Old New Year's night, as the British would say, was ready and resting for this final as well too. We're just moments away from the game as well too, while everybody hops on into the moments here. We do have two interviews lined up with the two grand finalists as well too. So Spooks, I'm sadly going to have to say we're going to have to ask you to leave and give a bit of space as
Aww.
well too for our upper finalists who doesn't have to win two series today, as the format is quite simple. Win for them and it's all over in the best of seven. That does mean we are joined with Jennifer, aka Gandhi, aka Perth. Perth, how are you doing? Welcome to the broadcast.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. I'm not used to these early games. I prefer the evening ones, but all good.
I think everybody's just used to the evening games, to be truthfully honest with you. But I'm going to have to slightly ask you a difficult questions, Perth, which is, um, quite literally, is this the difficult match that you were expecting? Because many teams were sitting expecting EGG to be in here. You were not even considered. Is it nice to prove everybody wrong, I suppose?
I mean, I think we knew as a team that we'd make it to the grand final. And our final matchup, I kind of expected it to be TT Willhaben. I think they were the second strongest team apart from us. So, yeah, this is the final I expected.
Well, expectations is one thing. You, of course, went through. You played them earlier in the upper bracket final. You actually knocked them down as well too. That's an advantage, so some would say it as well too. You know the strategy surely at this point as well. And I don't want to leak strategy, but as far as we're aware, it's the same roster coming in today. Is that a benefit knowing that you have that advantage going into the series?
Yeah, I think it took us like a game to adjust to them. I think they took the first game off us, and then after that we kind of sussed it out. So I think that gives us a pretty good advantage for today.
Pretty good advantage as well too. We don't want to keep you too long because we know this match is going to get started. So we, as you are one of the players going to be joining into the lobby, is there any fighting words you want to say to your opposition? Because I'll let you know they're listening for every word you're going to say here. Is there anything that you want to throw the gauntlet down before we get this match underway?
Or you want me to throw some beef? Or
Oh, beef, salad, whatever you have, Gandhi, whatever you want.
nah, Gandhi's peaceful. I'll just say good luck.
Well, just good luck. Very respectful here. But over in the fan club right now, I believe Spooks is chilling with his best friend at the moment.
Oh, Danny, always calling me a fanboy, but how can you not be when TT Willhaben has looked this good? Of course, welcome by. And, well, let me start off with the first question for you. How prepared are you guys to face this Irie Legacy squad that is most likely playing with reserves once again?
We are prepared. Like, we are ready to throw in everything that's needed to get not beaten this time. We did our math, we did our statistic analysis. We are ready to take the tournament, even if it takes two best of one sets, but we are prepared.
Of course, like you're already saying, you need to win two best of sevens to get through to and win everything. Will that change maybe some of the mentality-wise, knowing that you have to go through a really long day and a really long matchup? Do you want to win everything?
Yeah, I think, of course, you can't ignore the fact that two best of sevens is definitely, like, if it goes the distance in both series, it's going to be a very long day for the casters, for the players, for everyone. But I think if we get the momentum done in the first series, win this one, I think it's going to be very even playing field, and mentality is always our strong side. So yeah, we've been in those situations, so we know how to deal with them. And I think we're going to be able to perform the way we want to perform.
Well, like Dennis already said before, I'm of course in the fan club for you guys apparently. And it's looking back at your run, of course, only really being beaten by Irie Legacy, that was the only ones that were able to beat you guys while playing. Does that mean for the players wise that you come back in here and want to get that revenge more than anything?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we had a pretty much perfect run until we faced Irie Legacy. which we started good. We won the first one, and then they just clapped back. And Resears, yeah, he just took the backpack he had and put everyone in there and just ran with it. But yeah, I mean, nothing we could do against that. So we are ready to get a bit of revenge back. But yeah, I mean, what happens, and the players are ready to show why we got invited, why we are in the grand final now, and why we were considered to be one of the top favorites for taking it all.
Well, of course, we heard Danny before here talking to the love of his life, Jennifer, or Perf, or Gandhi, however you want to call it. Well, he was allowed to maybe throw some beef or some salad. Danny likes salad, apparently. But now I'll give you the chance. Is there any last words you want to bring out before the match gets started?
No, not really. I mean, Gandhi did not throw his sandal towards me, so I'm fine. Nothing I need to dodge here. So I'm just going to wish them all the best, and for it to be an entertaining series for the viewers and you for the casters.
Well, thank you very much for being here in the interview. And as everyone is so nice to each other, we'll bring back the nicest person I know. It is Danny Boy who gets back into the casting booth with me. And, well, Danny, we are the ones throwing the beef. It seems that the players and the managers just want to be nice tonight.
I'm slightly somewhat surprised by that, but the Swiss scene and everybody else who's been invited in this tournament has been class X throughout, and that's as indicative of who they are. They have been complete and utter gentlemen and ladies throughout here. But with that being in the case of those spooks, we had 4 days worth of gameplay. We might as well run down the exact happenings of yesterday, how we got to the stage, in case we're not going to go through match by match. It's more the run that Irie Legacy took through. You heard what Perf said earlier, 3-1 against EG, the tournament favourites beaten the grand finalists, of course, their opposition. They beat them 3-1 and Monkey Squad 3-0. They had an early night. They didn't have to do much here. It was about 3 hours worth of gameplay for them, where, as I described it, as your sort of fan club that say that you've been always back and always been putting up. And this is not just for this tournament. If you've known Spooks as long as I have, he wants them on every weekly that we've ever casted before because he respects them dearly. But they had a difficult tournament, but probably maybe the easiest quarterfinal in the form of Atlanta to be able to kick things off.
Well, they did sweep Atlanta Wave, like you've said before, and then went on to face Irie Legacy. We've already discussed this in the interview just now, taking game number 1 and then letting reserves basically give out the big old backpack and taking the team all the way further. That means that TTL Haben dropped down to face Team Solid, where they won 3-1. Team Solid tried their best, put up a good effort, but was not enough. Then we saw EGE playing against TTL Haben. What was a bit of a surprise for some people, seeing how EGE performed in the group stages. But they still were no match for TTL Haben, who 3-1 them as well. And then on to the lower bracket final, Danny. The 3-0 sweep, where we saw Monkey Squad sadly enough fall apart, even though they've been so incredible this tournament. That just leads us all the way up to this grand final.
The grand final itself as well, too. And I'm not going to ask for predictions as us as casters. I think it would be unfair for us to do so because both teams has earned the full respects as well too. But for just a bit of historical value, as you know, Spooks are like a bit of history as well too. This event was ran last year. I keep saying this is the second edition. A long time ago, this tournament ran to this very day, funny enough. And I love how Perp described an evening game. The kickoff was 3 p.m. a bit earlier, of course, than what today is. It was Alaspis versus Damage Inc. on that one. Went actually to the 7 games onto that one. It was single elimination on that. If last year's one was anything to go for, let's hope for a bracket reset, because I think we would love to see the teams actually have a 14-game series today.
It would be wonderful, but it's gonna be a slaughterhouse if it does go that far. Because remember, that is just 14 games of non-stop calming, non-stop talking, and being actively thinking about your movements, about your placements, about your shots. Every little detail you are thinking actively about, and that is going to be so draining for these players. But I think both these teams wouldn't mind sweeping the other and making it a tiny bit quicker, Danny.
Potentially so. If they are going to sweep, they might as well get the first set to be the sweep as well. It's not like the RLCS where you have to play a guaranteed 2 sets anyway. It's only if TTL will Haben actually get into that scenario. And Spooks, as much as we've been sitting here talking about the potential of this series as well too, I love the fact their manager quite literally said Gandhi didn't throw a sandal at him. I think that is quote of the tournament. Will they actually be able to actually do that there? I mean, Futura yesterday didn't use a sandal. He just used whatever big heavy paddle and slapped every opposition in that lower bracket. Will it be the same today? And the other element, we'll actually touch on to that in a moment. But what a player Futura was in that one.
He had to come in and played phenomenally, and that's exactly the Futura we saw earlier on the group stage as well. Just a really strong player comes in and has no troubles at all to fitting into the team, and that's something that was already told us by the manager, is that they said this as well, that Futura basically subs in quite a lot when they need someone to sub in. So he's used to playing with them. He's used to going around with them and used to playing with them and just dealing with them. And that's clearly shows, because honestly, TT will happen with Psy is of course a tiny bit stronger in my eyes. But TT will happen with Futura is nothing less to take away from.
Certainly so, but what I don't want to take away from any of the two teams is their run, everything they get here. And there's one key point that I think maybe hasn't been explored here, and I want to keep it as its own separate point here before this grand final gets kicked off. Usually with a double elimination, you see the grand finale played straight after the losers final, and the losers team, if they play the bracket, it's about 6-7 hours worth before that match. They've actually had about 12 hours rest given into the series. They're able to actually come into the series with fresh eyes, and that's surely going to actually suit the sides here that we talked about so much here. It actually probably damages Irie Legacy because they don't necessarily have to worry about coming in cold either.
I think it's pretty much a good part for both of them, because, well, you can rest yourself, you can calm down, you can relax, and then just get going once again. I think it's just very good for both these teams, and I think it's probably the best decision the tournament organizers could make, because it leads to a very competitive match in this grand finals. And it seems the teams are both just excited to get into it today, so why won't we both get into it as well?
Let's do so. The grand finale here at VisionGaming on Irie Legacy. Will Gandhi be the king of the lands, or will he finally find the slipper on both sides of his cheeks right now? Who thought that would have been the opening sentences very much of this tournament here? But as the history books, when I said this matchup to this very day a year ago, what a match that was against Damage 8 versus Last Picks. Went to the 7 games. Will we get the same often? And do you know what one of the players was in that grand finale who unfortunately failed to make it past the group stage? Irie. That's his last time I'll mention him during this broadcast.
You just have to bring him up every single time, don't you?
I
The
just
poor
like
man
him as
cannot
the
even
player.
escape in the grand finals.
Well, we might see him next time around. But right now, so far here, Perv a little bit dangerous and trying to attack upfield here. And NKS moving the ground, and I'm glad we talked about that resting point. Both sides have came out to it. They know this might just be a 7-game series.
Well, NKS looking for some control and getting that as well. But Perf is not allowing him really, as Duchy push it up all alone. Can he find the shot? No. Side puts it to the side. And this means that it's up for reserves this time around, and that's a man I'm gonna keep a close eye on, because we saw it yesterday. Reserves was incredible.
He was fantastic, and Spooks, you described it quite literally. It was his show. Everything that he done, it was near enough perfection, but we also highlight Futura for the exact same reasons. But Raziers is that quality player who could make the difference in this particular matchup.
Reserves puts it back onto the orange half. It's Elio now with the control, trying to get past Reserves, who isn't gonna let him go that easily, meaning NKS now with control of the ball, taking it low. Psy follows it up from him. You see a lot of follow-ups from TT Lab. They've clearly learned from yesterday when they played against Irie Legacy, and they're not really allowing them to just get those 1-2s and allow things up, but this is just an allowance, a gift, so to say.
You described earlier giving gifts at Christmas time a little bit too late here. We're near enough knocking on 2022, near enough 12, 11 hours, depending on time zone in the European region. That there Might be the mistake he would like to forget within this year alone here, but it will haunt him if that's how they lose game 1, of course, with at least half a game still to go. Surely not.
Well, Proof taking the control, trying to get back into the middle himself, and Chaos getting it over him. Waiting for Juju to follow it up. Irie Legacy trying to sustain some offense in the orange half, trying to maybe get a bit cozy in the orange half, trying to set up camp and not let it go, as this is a good opportunity once again. And yes, onto the side, Reserves puts it back into the middle. Proof wasn't quick enough. It means that there is an escape possibility, but the escape possibility gets blocked off by Juju quite quickly.
Here's is up though. The ability of getting out here seems to be almost a difficult task on itself here in Perth. Left all alone here, and this ball has to be moved down here. And Raziers is up. Challenge blocked. It goes. The professional player from BS Plus competition showing exactly why he is that word, a professional.
But this is a good opportunity, but Perf puts it back to the side. Juju, awkward position, but can still do something right here. Puts it over the second. Perf back into the middle. Is there a follow-up from Reserves? There is, but the shot is a tiny bit wide and a tiny bit too weak. LU not having a single problem with that. Meaning that they do get the control back once again as Perf puts it back to the side. Reserves thinks better of it and gets the follow-up from there on out. And guess, taking it easy, taking it slow, trying to slow down the gameplay, and that seems to be Tito Haben's plan right now a tiny bit. Make sure that they control the pace, make sure that it's a tiny bit slower than what it was yesterday, so they can control everything a lot better.
See elements of that, and the idea of controlling the pace is certainly what we like to see as well too. Plenty of times in the opening games, day 1 to day 3, it has been high-scoring affairs, but Spooks, this hasn't been it, and that is their equaliser. That is control. About time. 1-1.
One tiny touch and then a flick over the defenders. Both Reserves and Perf can't get to it anymore, meaning that the goal does happen. The equalizer happens, and this is probably a bit of a sigh of relief coming out from Psy right now, knowing after that tiny mistake he made earlier on that it isn't the end of this game.
It would be an awful shame if it's just one measly mistouch. But Juju will be hoping for a play of his own here. 20 boosts to truly work with here, and Perf is around here. No follow through either. It would be interesting to see what does follow through here in this play. And right now, not necessarily the gameplay has been stagnant since that second goal here. It's both sides afraid to attack.
I think it's mostly just trying to take control and trying to just figure out what you're allowed to do, especially Tito Haben. Wanting that slower play, wanting to take control more and more and more to maybe force out some weird mistakes, as NKS has an open net to shoot at. And with 18 seconds to go, we might see a repeat where TT will have and takes the first goal. And take the first game, I mean.
Goal game doesn't really matter. As long as they get the victory, that is what they will be happy with so far. And Spooks' questions was all around the summary. What does the victory mean to them? Well, surely quite a lot here, and that is certainly an ideal start here after a shaky opening. And very much Raziers is looking to shake things up here, but the back wall, no follow-up by his two teammates either. And that's a shot by Perth. This is the opening game, gentlemen and ladies. It's 2-2.
The excitement already from game number 1. 2 seconds left to go, and it is tied back up, Danny. I mean, I don't think we can ask for anything better to end our year with.
Oh, there's plenty of things that we can ask for. How about something sizzling for an OT winner, Spooks?
Oh, that would be wonderful, as Juju now has an opportunity to finish it off right here, but Psy puts it away to the side. Griff doesn't have the control, actually gets blocked off by LU with Reserves. With the follow-up right there, can he do something once again? Puts it into the middle, this shot getting blocked. That's not done just yet as Juju pushes it back into the orange half, but we've seen this before, that Tito Haben is very capable of holding themselves strong. And Psy now take it under one, and KS passes into the middle looking for the bump, and Reserves not allowing it.
Look at that.
Oh.
Look at that. We've seen this opposition side once before make a mistake, led to the opening goal, and unfortunately leads to the first drop in the series too.
And it's Reserves, of course. Who else to do it? To get them that win. This this match, at first we thought, oh, it's going Irie Legacy's way. Then we went to see what will happen. Then at the last couple of seconds, Irie Legacy get back, and then the overtime win as well. And that is the type of stuff we like to see in a final, where it's just back and forth every single time. Both these teams giving out blows and receiving them. That is the beautifulness of this game.
You know, brings a tear down to my eye. But will there be true emotions with these 6 players here? Still continuing in Perth once more, trying to go for a demo kickoff. It was very much effective in their quarterfinal match here as Viziers continues further downfield here. We would like to see more from game 1, if not better. The standard has been set. And there's Perth wiggling around too.
Putting it into the middle with Psy is able to take control, puts it to the side, but there's no one there to be found apart from Juju. Of course, putting it back into the orange half is what he likes to do. Nolio. Look for some control, getting it past reserves. That's at least one player gone, but Juju again. And something I've slightly have taken a bit of a notice in, Danny, is that every time Irie Legacy is pushed up, it's either reserves or perf. And then Juju tries to be patiently waiting and trying to make sure that his team stays in the offense and stays being able to do things like this with the shot getting blocked.
Nice to have a defiant or third man. Juju able to supply support when you have Viziers. Talked about this during the group stage. If you have a quality player, you make the decision, is he the one staying back or is he the one being supplied to?
Oh. This is shaping up to be a wonderful final so far, Danny, with things like this going in.
There's a cheeky smile on both of us right now because we know this is on the start of something very good. Especially from the save from reserves. But what a shot that was here. But it's not over just yet here. The attack still going for goal number 2 here. Back line not being exploited here. Reveres will be getting that one downfield here. I'm not trying to say Reveres is doing a bad job. Livefox is probably the closest so far in this tournament defensively what he's been able to do here.
First Livefox being beaten out at 4 and reserves trying to get the goal on target just a tiny bit wide. And getting down as well, putting him all the way back into his own half, but I don't think he will mind it too much. Passes there, reserves blocking it off, denying the second.
Zeers, small little pop right here. The seconds, unfortunately, will be the seconds tick on by here as the 2-minute mark gone by over Viziers here, and the second player beaten as well too. Perf over the Jew, and he backs away here, and that spooks his point earlier. He is constantly staying back, and it's maybe affecting our Legacy's opportunities going upfield.
Going upfield, but then again, how much do you need Juju for that? As Perf has shown, he has incredible accuracy. This one as well was on target once again, forcing the save. And on the other end, reserves is just, well, you can define it by one single thing. Reserves is reserves, and Juju is doing Juju things, finishing it off and cleaning it up.
It's just a shame this is a grand final. Can we not just sneakily change this into a best of 7, best of 7s? This is fabulous stuff here. Perfect sets of starts here. Showing that they can take a goal off each other, chipping each other down here. But who will be chiseled by the end of it as Perf fires it top right. And maybe we might have a Picasso by the end of this.
Well, he's shaping up to make this a beautiful match. Top corner, nothing you can do as NKS. And Perf will take that once again. Of course, I complimented him his shooting beforehand. And he's showing exactly why I complimented his shooting.
So some players you just be envious of. Right now, Perf is going to be one of them. Spicy within the scene, spicy with the tournament. Spicy with a few players as well too. But this ball popped into the middle here, so we haven't seen a real tug-of-war at the midfield battle. Very been respectful so far with his ears. Beats out 1, 2, and unfortunately the demo there removes Juju. That's the first time he was upfield for a potential shot, and he doesn't even get a chance to have it.
Psy getting demoed, and it leaves it open for Perf, but he can't find the shot this time around. Leaving reserves all alone by himself. Juju quick to help him, and leaving the reserves to just take control once again. Pass down, back down once again. Reserves had 0 boost, and you know he's still just a menace when he goes up. You cannot take your eyes off that man. He will force you to look at him.
Can you keep his eyes truly off him at this point in time here? We'll find out how further this will go on here as Juju sits, waits patiently. He's actually moved further up here, so as Irie Legacy decide to warm up or change their strategy marginally. We talked to Alante Wave earlier in this tournament. They did not have a plan B. It cost them, and Irie Legacy knew that, and so the DUL will happen.
I would assume TT will have a backup plan, or at least some type of change up with themselves if things don't work out. But so far things have been working out. It's just that you lack that final little push that has been going forward for Irie Legacy, where they can get those second goals in for themselves. Now Alyu, good opportunity to maybe show what you're made of. The pass into the middle, but Perf and Juju working together, making sure it doesn't go in and letting Perf go up once again. But Zero Boost isn't going to get you too far, and this shot is going to go far. It's going to go all the way back into the net.
After talking about the defensive duties, how far Juju was sitting back, how far he was not getting pushed up into it. The moment that he starts doing exactly that, it's been spotted, it's been exploited, and for again we see this at 2-2. The only difference is they've got a few extra seconds to play with here.
Looking for the control once again, but losing it right here, giving it to NKS, who goes over one. Can he get past the second? Looking for the bump, but Juju and Reserves working together to not let that ball go in. Now it's once again Reserves onto the offense, 50 into the middle. Leaving it up for Alyu, who takes the control back onto the wall. Not too much you can do by yourself right there. Of course, always going to be blocked off with Reserves demoed, leaving the goal a bit open, but the shot was nowhere to be found as Perf can take control once again. This will happen. Need to watch out to not over push once again in the last couple of seconds and give away the lead. And this Alyu will not do that, especially as the ball will be dropping down. No, it will not. It actually bounces up. Reserves opportunity presenting itself this time around. It will not go in.
We're back here again at OT. The idea of slipping a goal in last second. Dare the teams to try to do so. They have attempted, they've failed to do so. Reserves off the post. That's another goal that's crept on him. And Spooks, we talk about miracles at tape. This is Reveres.
This ball just got locked in between the post and the defender. And there's nothing you can do anymore. Reserves is never going to let that ball go. Pushing it in and pushing Irie Legacy on the 2-0 lead. And you don't want to give them a single game more, because that could lead to you being forced to reverse sweep them.
And let's be frank about it. We haven't seen many reverse sweeps this tournament. When we do, they are rare creatures to behold, and frankly, they capture that moment in time. Difficult to do, but Spooks, we talk about how well Reveres is doing and how well that sort of backpack is. I must unfortunately come with a highlighter with a bit of criticism as well. Juju being either forced to being pushed up here that cost that position to be exploited here, and Team will have not able to develop their own true chances here. It's almost like they're missing Futura here on the offense.
They may be, but I would assume that right now they're going to talk with each other, being like, okay, boys, this and this and this we need to do different. We're going to abuse the fact that Juju is most of the time last man back, and then you can transition. That is, of course, the wonderful thing about a best of 7. You have this time. You can change up what you want to change. And now it's just showing the proof that you are capable of changing.
2-0 is the series. Can the change occur? We would like to, as neutrals. Will it, of course, happen? Well, game number 3 is underway, and we'll see if that's exactly that, as Perf has been telling Reziers to get away from his ball, and that shot's wide. It had to go. It had to be a statement from the kickoff.
Yes, awkward position. Ball gets put into the middle. Reserves trying to finish it off, and the demo is there, and Juju tried to get a shot on target for himself this time around. Not enough, and you see NKS once again going for a couple of demos, getting 2, but not the third on Perf, not allowing him to creep away. And this means that Perf once again pushed it back into the orange half, shots in front of the net, but no one there to finish it off. And it seems everyone has gotten a bit, well, demo heavy, to say the least.
It's about time we see a few demos to light this picture up here. Of course, here on the 31st of December 2021, there will be fireworks later on tonight here. So far, we're looking fireworks in the grand finale, and we will have that. We certainly have seen elements of the gunpowder been put in here. It's just whether the dye for the colour can be added to. Will it be copper or not? And who can cope with the pressure?
And yes, trying to go low on the Reserves, but doesn't work out this time around. And we've maybe said Reserve's name quite a lot already, but let's not forget that he has a team around him that allows him to play the way he is doing right now. That allows him to set himself up for a lot of these chances and opportunities. And not every single team is going to be capable of feeding you into that.
Exactly so too, and Perth said himself he's used to the later games. He may not be ready for this sort of type of a early match in comparison, but he has woken up, he has played well in the 2 games so far here, and has delivered well. The only criticism was Weller Juju. Does he push up here? They've seemed to sort out that issue here with the 2 minutes in game 3, but he will have it, not giving up. They've been relentless to try and find that goal. They have been close here with a side top left corner rejection.
The ball gets pushed in front, and it's now Juju's opportunity to push into the front. Gets the 50 into the middle, but no one there to finish it off. Leading to this ball going back onto the blue half. Reserves are in position. How much can you do with this one? Not all too much. Perf is there to help him out, of course. And that's always the helping hand that Perf extends to his team. As here, he creates a full opportunity, looking for a bump once again, leading Juju to the offense with the shot. Was a tiny bit too weak, getting blocked this time around.
Look at that, skipping all the way downfield. Juju's clearance. Oh, there's a moment here you just feel like a sense of a mistake is going to occur here. We've seen 2 of that in game 1, but it has not creeped back in here. It's not white line fever just yet here. It's only straight down here. Razier's back up and that back wall being pushed down here. I am surprised to some extent that this type of series has been as so low goal scoring as it been. These 2 teams high on those charts, but there it is, goal number 1 at last.
The slip up, you could almost say, it was mostly created by NKS. 2 people up, and NKS just getting right on top of Reserves there on the landing, meaning that he could not get himself back for the save. And TT will have been taking the lead. And now it's just important. Be faultless. Be flawless almost. And make sure that you don't allow Irie Legacy to get back into this game. Maybe a second will help to that.
Be thankful for NKS. He was the assist without the full accreditation, but Spooks give it to him because of his diversion, if you want to put it. There was no diversion that time around. It was a goal sign, and he was literally saying, give it to me, I will score. He done that. He will do it again if given the chance, of course. 2-0 to the better, maybe 3 perhaps. Rears not going to let this one slip away. If the third one goes in, that would be the signal here, a potential comeback on the cards.
It is so far. TT Willhaben has not changed, I think, as much in their playstyle-wise. It's just that they're playing more solid. They're not letting those mistakes creep in, and these shots, they're creeping those in quite a lot more. Pass back to Psy, pushing it back forth once again. It's Juju now, putting it high for Perf. Perf can't get to it. The ball's way too far gone now. NKS, the man himself, looking for control, can't find it. As Juju pushes it back up. And maybe it's up for Irie Legacy to go back to the playstyle they've had before, where Juju is a bit more defensive, because clearly it was working better than what they're doing right now.
There's Juju, or the Raziers, and Perf will be beaten for the 3rd time, and quick concessions there, and the idea of playing more solid usually doesn't feel also solid. But TT Willhaben has done exactly that. They have been so. They're passing on point. Their shooting has been exemplary as Perf gets another save there. As the clock, the time management here in game number 3 on point here. I might be even cheeky to say this is going to be a 2-1 series now.
NKS has an opportunity right here for take control, and he will. And he will also waste a lot of time right there, but the resource got the bump in, meaning that the opportunity does present itself for Irie Legacy. Perf putting it back in front of the net. The shot blocks off, and Reserves can't find it. And this ball will just be wide and open. They're making it a passing play as well. The 3-0 from TT Willhaben, and we will certainly go to a 2-1.
Certainly so, and it's nice to see all 3 get involved into the play there. Did say the 3rd one was in. That would have been the guaranteed game. Called it slightly earlier, but either way here, TT Willhaben will be happier that they've got themselves at least 1 game under the board. That'll calm the nerves down. It won't be a whitewash. It will be embarrassing to some extent if that was to occur. But Spooks, I did say the grand final started with a bang here, but now it's not just a sparkler. We've upgraded here in terms of the explosion. It's dynamite stuff.
It is indeed, and it's looking beautiful. And now it's for Irie Legacy. You've seen it. TT Willhaben changed a tiny bit. Not that much, just got more solid and more into the game. On the other end, Irie Legacy felt a bit lost there in the end. Not really sure what they were supposed to do or who was supposed to go for what. A lot of double commits coming out on the defensive side, and almost all of them got punished by a goal. And I think that's scary. That's the scary thing right now for TT Willhaben, is that if they're going to be able to keep this momentum up and keep playing like the way they're doing right now, Irie Legacy is going to have to struggle to get back into this.
Might so, and might as well bring this point up as well to at the moment. The last 2 games before Game 3 there, it was 3-2. Irie Legacy required to get themselves back into it. Game 2 was much more controlling, it was much more temper from them. But Spooks, with that being said as well, Irie Legacy did not even score a single goal here. TD Willhaben had not only weathered the storm in 2 games worth and try to get themselves at least competitively, they shut their opposition down completely. That's an ideal start to get themselves potentially on a comeback pathway. Now can they build on that performance?
Well, we've already seen it once again. It's there the overcommits, and NKS, he is not done just yet. The overcommits are hurting Irie Legacy, but this is just beautiful.
As much as Juju's been occasionally in the back lanes trying to help out here, hasn't worked out there. The idea of a comeback, scratch that word idea, definite. That is now the sense right now, and our Legacy's got to be careful. They've got to be wary. These sleeked opponents have played multiple times beforehand. They may have the victory over them, the head-to-head advantage, but in these type of matches, that is out of the window here. It's just get over the line here as NKS back defensively, and the ball nowhere near there, back off their line.
Juju now with the control of size, not allowing him to take the control. The reserves push it back forth once again. Pass down into the middle to Juju, but getting blocked. Of course, TT will not allow you to pass that easily. Upside once again, trying to set something up, giving it away to LU, but the shot cannot be found. Leaving it back to a 1-0 lead. Perf pushing it back forth once again. Can he create something? At least the boost steal was found this time around. At least they can try and set up camp like they've done in game 1 and 2. But right now, the camps that they are trying to build keep getting destroyed.
The campfire still smouldering though. As Raziers, I said it might be smouldering. I think he's rekindled something here in Irie Legacy. They'll get the goal back here.
An important shot right here for Resource. If you let TT Willhaben walk along with that 1-0 lead and maybe make it a 2-0 lead, it was going to be very, very hard to catch up once again. But they're showing their resilience, showing what they're capable of. And now it's up for LU, getting it over 1. Perfect in an awkward position, but still gets the touch to the wall. That doesn't matter. Side now with control. Pass to the middle, getting blocked and intercepted by Resource, because who else would do that? Well, pass back down to Perf. Not enough.
NKS is waiting for that passing play, never arriving. Raziers left almost wondering here, as that sentence that Spooks said once before. Raziers, as good he is, as good as he has done during the tournament here, not getting the supply and out of position here. Excellent bump, but sadly not going to be rewarded just yet here. There's Raziers back onto it, forced into the 50, and TT Willhaben will have a few opportunities to exploit here, perhaps.
Reserves pushing it back forth, but there's no one there to take advantage of its upside. Pushing it back onto the blue side, Perf intercepting it. Maybe starting to get used to the passing plays coming out from TT Willhaben. They're looking for one more, letting it go down. Juju leaves it up for Reserves, who's in an awkward position, but no one there from TT Willhaben to take advantage of this. But the miss from Perf will make it so they can take control. The shot's being shot up, but Reserves found the block, making sure Irie Legacy keeps themselves alive.
Excellent. Locked it down. Waiting now patiently here. Our Legacy, not on the other hand, they would like to rush it. They fancy their chances here, perhaps here in Perth. The third consecutive blockade being rammed down by the front door, perhaps, as Raziers will continue. This is number 4 here. Perth back in for 5. We'll keep on ticking this one up here on that shot counter. Unfortunately, not going to deliver a big fat 0 absolutely on the official one. It's Perth back defensively here. We're 90 seconds away here before another OT. LSGG would like to remove that. Perth is up, so's the ball. Down onto the keeper, sent wide it goes here, but Irie Legacy exploited at the seams as well.
You talked before about a low-scoring games. This is a low-shooting game so far. 3 shots for Irie Legacy, 1 shot from TT Willhaben. Both these teams are not allowing each other to find any shots on target. They're most of the time blocking them off right before it even happens. And this may be an opportunity here. The goal is wide open, but the shot nowhere to be found. It was just a tiny bit wide, and the boost wasn't enough. But LU still keeping this offense alive. Perfect. Hitting it high, leaving it up for Reserves, who has the control. Looking for maybe a flip reset. Can he get it past Psy? No, Psy was strong enough. And as we enter the last couple of seconds, will we see another low second goal?
Certainly. We will see that. Fortunately, it might just be an OT. Person myself with a few extra minutes maybe running up if it was my call, as NKS was certainly looking the more favourable first half of that point here. As the next 20 seconds here, detrimental of the defensive duties as the low scoring has been on point, but you saw Irie Legacy's 5 attempts to get in the middle was met consistently with block after block and deny, and maybe NKS might have a chance here. Deny Irie Legacy, match point denied! No! TT Willhaben denied! OT, game number 4!
I saw that happening. I was like, Reserves was never gonna get that, but no, he drops himself down right on top of the ball, and this means we do get the overtime Danny has been waiting for, that he has been longing for. And now, if this overtime can go over the 10 minutes, I think you will make Danny a very, very happy man. But I think both these teams want to end it as quick as possible. Here comes the first shot, not going in.
Certainly they would like to finish, especially when there's a potential 14 games to be played alone, as Perth will not be alone. Reserves was up and waiting back over, but no touch here. Already longer than the last few OTs was seen on here on Irie Legacy's own channel, and their backline not going to be suffering an early exit here in game 4 either.
Yes, putting it back down for LU, who takes the control once again, looking to get it to the side. Not working out for him this time, and this means Juju with the control, the ease, with the time, leaving it up for Reserves now. 1v1, can he get it past the defender? No, getting blocked by NKS, the man who has, in my eyes, looked phenomenal on the offensive area, and NKS himself doing the defensive work as well.
Be interested to see what a heat map would be looking like. Spicy, that's the whole tournament and this final on its own. Here's Reserves. Talk about his 1v1 capabilities. He has not been allowed to develop this into this series alone here at Juju. Removes it back over to the TT Willhaben side as NKS receives the pass from the midline back down, and the ball is wibbly wobbly at the moment here. No real structure. Both sides is now just wheeling at each other here. Infield it goes, cut out, of course. And there, we're near enough knocking 2 additional minutes.
So far, this offense, the ones that are in the offense, is mostly TT Willhaben. You haven't really seen it come from Irie Legacy as Reserves trying to set up something for himself. We really need to see more passing plays coming from Irie Legacy, because the solo plays are just intercepted non-stop through. As Psy creates an opportunity once again, Reserves blocking it off, but NKS there with the shot, private in their awkward position, and we're back to a tied-up series.
So Psy in game 1, goal number 1 was the one who made the mistake. It's only cruel that the sandal came off the wall there. There was no support for the feet to handle. Back at it now. At 2-2 here, Spooks.
I think this is probably everything everyone could have hoped for. A series going to be this close, overtimes, close matches, and just a well-fought battle all around. And you know what, Danny? We still are guaranteed 2 more games, and in my opinion, if this doesn't go to Game 7, I would be surprised.
I would be disappointed if we don't go to 7. Spicy after the 2 games we've seen so far here. And just to put in context, 33 seconds and 9 seconds in OT before we reach into that game number 4 there. We have spent more time near enough in OT than we actually seen in regulation actually being scored in. That's just a weird moment to be in. But game 5 will set the tone here in effectively a race or in a best of 3 scenario. They've got to forget everything that's happened so far here.
Well, if they can, they need to stop the momentum that TT will have and is trying to create for themselves. Ball goes to LU, who has the control, probably looking for a flip reset, gets the flip reset, but Reserves always sees that coming. He has the eyes of an eagle, he knows what you're gonna do, but can he know what is gonna happen here? Sly almost getting the angled shot for himself.
It's nice infield ball to be cut out here defensively. We've seen a few masterclass, but a howler now and again here as Razier's not letting that to be dictating the tempo here. There's moments to be forgotten here, and Razier's hasn't forgotten his pass. He hasn't forgotten his teammate. He's been waiting to get into this game. Juju arrived in game 5.
Briff setting up the play there entirely with the demo and then allowing Reserves to get a free pass into the middle. Juju saw it coming. He knew, he trusts in that teammate, and they will put themselves in the lead quite early on in this game numero. I actually started this game number 5, isn't it already, Danny? We're going quite quick.
Spectacular quick, especially how many extra seconds, near enough minutes we've been playing so far. But to even touch onto that point further, how many times we've seen in that tournament where the pass is definitely going to be on. We can see it as the commentators, and the players is too afraid to hang around in the box. Juju took it and was rewarded for staying there.
He was Reserves getting his boost stolen, won't be able to do that much with it, leading to Aliu. Taking the control, trying to take a high perf. Now dropping it back down as Reserves there for the finish. Juju landed there a bit unfortunately for himself as the pass, not the greatest, but it still finds each other. Juju once again into the defense, holding himself strong, putting the ball to the side now. And guess, gonna get one more touch into the middle. Reserves isn't gonna allow that, and the shot was too weak to be found anyway.
He's there, no second touch here, and Juju taking Sears for a walk there to some extent, told to back away here. So the roles slightly reversed with the first and third player here, and will that be effective, of course, here in the demo? We just wanted to see somewhat more, but not constructive this one here, as Teal will have, and perhaps their momentum is slipping from their own grasps here.
Juju trying to get the low shot, and Reserves in an awkward position, getting bumped as well. The flick is going high, but Perf was high as well. But now in an awkward position, shot brings it back down. The crossbar saving Irie Legacy right there. And Reserves looking for a pass down to Perf. Can't find it as Elio blocking it off. But there is, of course, always Juju, the loyal man, the defensive man, making sure his team can crawl back and get their boost.
There's NKS waiting patiently back here. We'll cut into it, and our Legacy was very supporting to give that passing play to their opposition. Free shot! That one has slipped on in.
I just want to rewatch this because this is for some way or another Eliu's goal. Shot being shot. Eliu was there to block it all off. That is way more incredible than I expected, to be honest.
Aliu may have unfortunately given himself the unfortunate nickname as the man cover. Quite literally blocked the Sturridge and made sure it stayed in. There was no letting go of that one. What a moment to slip bobbing in here. This is game 5 here, Spooks. They've played and they cannot be separated with 4. They can't even be separated after 2.5 minutes worth of gameplay here.
Perf maybe trying to create some separation, but with zero boost, he isn't going to be able to do that. And Cass under control, only Juju left in defense, but he's doing his job very well this time around. Upside. Lost the control himself, but at least gets the pump on Reserves. That's how you know this team has changed a bit of the playstyle. They're looking for Reserves. They're looking for all the demos they can get, but Reserves is looking for the double tap down onto the ground. Juju there with the follow-up, and he makes it once again.
Perf may have the accuracy, the thunder every time he shoots for the top right. Juju, not necessarily full finesse onto that one. The crossbar kissing down. They might just be kissing the prize pool if he keeps on going so far. 2-1. We asked for separation. We have got it for a temporary moment. But is that perhaps a false identity of this match here?
Well, it's scored by the one that we probably expected the least offense coming from. Juju getting 2 goals to his name as this ball gets pushed away once again. It's Reserves putting it back in front once again. Can Juju finish it off this time around? No, he decides to back off, and this leaves the goal wide open. Perf passing it up for Reserves. Not what you like to see. Making him use his boost and letting TT will have them recover and reset themselves. Now Aliu with the control, Juju not allowing it. And there's one man that is slowly amping up his gameplay right now, Danny. Slowly amping up some speed, and it's Juju.
Certainly so, and it's nice to see that. It was a very quick opening first and second game, but he was not the one who injected the pace. And first pass over the course of the player who we expected the least amount of goals so far as a second attempt, but sadly didn't get it. Rivers will go likewise here, and Tia Wilhaben, as much as they've been good so far here, Spooks, they have not developed themselves as a true and utter threat. They've changed their gameplay, they've opened up a few avenues, but they've spread themselves too thinly. They cannot follow each other's plays here.
The change they made before, they have been countered with that. Irie Legacy changing themselves to make sure that they can play this once again. And, well, I think the change has mostly come from Juju himself being a bit more offensive, being a bit more upfront, and getting those shots on target this time around. So now NKS with 0 boost, 10 seconds to count. Something needs to happen quick, otherwise this game is gonna lead to a 3-2 standings in the series standings. As this ball gets pushed back into the middle, is there a finish off? Research just gonna drop it. And it's 3-2 win the series for Irie Legacy.
Just let that settle in for a moment. The nerves are going to be obviously pounding for the players as us as the, in quotations, neutrals. We want to see more. We're at the business end of the competition. We are at the business end on the potential first set and final set as well too. Because the next win, if it's Irie Legacy, if it's only a 1-goal game, that's him done. They have walked away as champions here of the VisionGaming Invitational, the second edition here, Spooks. Only 1 goal, that's all what they need. And, oh, unfortunately, that might be the hardest task to do.
It may be indeed, but you're gonna expect some type of nerves creeping up for Irie Legacy as well now. Maybe not on Resource, because the man has been in these types of situations before, has handled them before, or maybe a bigger skill as well. But on the other side, the rest of his team may be getting a tiny bit of nerves, even though, while saying that, I am quite honestly would be surprised if Gandhi himself could find it in himself to find nerves.
Who would have believed players can get nervous? I think that's expected, but if you're able to control it, it's almost a very much valuable quality in these situations. Here's that to the back wall with the 30 seconds gone by. We've seen so far in this series alone, it's about half a game, maybe even closer to 3.5 seconds before we even had a goal being scored here. Tia Wilhaben, they have to score first here, because that is the only sentiment I feel that is almost a must at this point for them, because they have struggled in game 5 to find those opportunities. They've got to be the ones to dictate from here.
I fully agree, and this is maybe a good opportunity. NKS getting a shot there, but it's a tiny bit too wide. Juju pushing it back forth once again. As we get underway for game number 6, already a minute has passed. No goals to be found just yet. Research trying to change that, but getting blocked off right from the get-go. Aliu. Just a quick shot up, trying to force the enemies, trying to make sure that they have to waste boost and maybe force some type of mistake.
You're asking for the mistake to occur. Oh, who would be the one to do so? Who would be the one on its shoulders at rest? It'd be a cruelty off it as Juju will be sitting and thankful to see that ball go wide without contention, as both his two teammates had trust, and it was misplaced, to be truthfully honest with you. As this ball by Tia Wilhaben, potentially the first one, unfortunately NKS has been demoed. So Ali is there. Unfortunately the ball will not be.
Reserves trying to set it up once again, but the landing not good enough, leading to him not being able to get to the ball as quickly as possible. Juju just making sure that the offense keeps it going for Irie Legacy as the ball gets pushed away back to the blue half. It's a good setup, is the bump there, no perf survives, and this means the offense won't go fast, but the NKS doesn't need fast, he just needs the accuracy.
Said they needed to score first. I said the first goal is always going to be difficult, especially when it's championship point. Irie Legacy hasn't even seen the opposite net. It has all big fat zeros. And the line now becomes even more difficult to cross here. Is that 1 goal? What a shot it was, what a play it was. And again, KS might have just set us poised quite nicely for game 7.
Elio getting blocked by Reserves. The pass into the middle will be countered quite quickly, and we were talking about who will make the mistake. Well, this was more of a team mistake, Danny.
We didn't see accountability off it. Juju goes for boost. Perf on the opposite side. Revere's not getting the challenge. 1/3 of blame. But NKS doubles and chances grows. And half the game still left to play out, of course.
Of course it is, and Perf taking high, but getting instantaneously shut down. Eliu putting it back in front of the goal. Double commit coming out from Irie Legacy. Maybe the nerfs are affecting them a tiny bit more than expected. Reserve's not getting the ball either. And Eliu, no boost at all. Just lets everything go past him.
Fly by, drive through. Our Legacy, unfortunately, have suffered from the heights of success. A come down they might not be able to recover and shake off in time in game number 6. That surely, this game is done. Have the ink ready to put a 3 in that column. Get the game 7 graphics ready. That is surely where we're heading. There is no way we will see a 3-goal lead thrown away here.
It would be probably one of the greatest upsets and the greatest throwaways, but with the way Irie Legacy has looked right now in game number 6, it's very unlikely that they're gonna give away that 3-0 lead from Titi will happen. Yes, now. Trying to maybe make it a 4th, getting the ball in front of the net, no one there to finish it off, so usually can just take it all the way again, putting it back down, but it's quickly intercepted by Eliu. Perf in an awkward position, but no one there to follow it up just as quick, and reserves now. Can he do it alone? Can he set himself up and get the goal? Looking set up from the back, but it's the follow-up there. Juju going high once again, and that will probably kill down the attack.
Rears over the Perth. Here of the attack being cooled down, stifled. No, they still keep hammering away here, even though they're 3 to the worst here. As Revere's as good as he is, as good as he has been, falters at a key moment here. But if you're going to have your shots and goals at valuable moments, let the misses happen here, because it's not going to get the team back in time with a minute still on the clock here.
Well, you're talking about shots and goals. There's only been 1 shot total from Irie Legacy this game, and it has come from reserves. Other than that, they've had no real shot on target just yet. This one may be the second, but it won't go in either. Hitting the post again. And like you said, of course, let all the bad things happen this game so you can move on to game number 7 and be the freshest you can be.
Potentially the freshest you can be. As this 30 seconds go down, Perth is just trying to make the scoreline respectable. I can't blame him to some extent on that, but with that being the case here, Spooks, Tia Wilhaben, you said they were solid. I didn't think they were this capable of being that solid.
Well, yes, they are solid, but I have to give some credit to Perf there for the shot. He turns his car all the way around from the left side to the right side and gets it past the defender. That's a beautiful shot, even though it won't mean as much as, of course, the 3-1 stands. The 3-1 will stay. Maybe you make it a 4-1 almost. 10 seconds and counting. No goal to be found anywhere near. Maybe they get 1 more as there's no more defense, but the defense gets back quick enough. Perf can't bring it back down. And we go to our well-deserved game 7.
Certainly so. A 3-1 scoreline for Tia Wilhaben. Just because I loved these little moments as well too. For the comparison a year ago, it was a 2-1 scoreline in the game 6. It was 3-1 in that particular one where Last Picks moves into. We haven't got the luxury of going back in time to replay maybe a second series and that. We do here potentially have that bracket reset capabilities, but 3-2, 3-2. Our Legacy had the opening advantage here, but Tia Wilhaben brought it back 3-0, 2-1. And the games have been tittering on the seesaw. 2-1, 3-1, went each other's in that small best of 3. Spooks, it said we don't want to do predictions. Be disrespectful for this final. But my word here, the next goal here will set the tone here, whether we have that bracket reset or not.
It will decide who will probably take this game. As what we've seen so far before, taking that first initial lead can be so incredibly important. Now it's Perf not getting that first touch. Now the ball gets past the reserves, putting it back into the middle. Eliu can't get to it himself, and Perf pushes it back into the middle once himself. Eliu has an opportunity right here. It presents itself. It's on target, but the reserves denying it.
Just like that, a few denies, a few opportunities to move in. Reziers beating the moves away here. Perth challenged. And this game 7, we have seen the series already have slow but yet decisive moments. We've seen quick, explosive, but yet unsuccessful challenges and everything in between here. It's been 0-0 for the opening minute. It has been like that in many games so far here, but a met of a defensive block here. We have gone past that elusive moment, and it's still goalless.
Elio blocking it off, and now it's Juju putting it back to the side. Perf, it's hit high. There's no one going to be there for the findable shot. Now Elio, a great little touch down, but it means that Perf has an opportunity once again. Both these teams trying to make sure that they're not the ones making a mistake. Because honestly, one mistake can be the end of all. As there was a tiny mistake right there, a bit of a backflip, but Perf couldn't capitalize on it.
Well, thankfully, there's no cap under this here other than the time limit. 5 minutes of standard regulation, or we might even have OT. Oh, is this going to be the one with the 20 minutes? I've been asking it for about 3 years at this point in time here. My words. What a moment that might be here as alley-oop. Unfortunately, no control into it. I must say here, these 6 players, as much experience they ever did have, slightly maybe on the bottle end of it here. There's a few signs of a potential choke, a few signs of a mishap here and there, but they've got to keep it together.
Perf now has an opportunity to open net. Elio quickly back. A resource goes high, doesn't get the second touch, and all the experience you could ever have always gets thrown out of the window in a game 7 in the grand finals. Your experience does not matter at this point. It's just you have to play to the best of your abilities, and the best of your abilities with these types of nerves bringing you back down as Psy tries to bring back the pass down to NKS, but he can't find it.
Those moments you trust your instincts. You go when you feel it's right. A moment of hesitation, and unfortunately the thief will cut, and it will be a gruesome end. However it will be here, and horror will follow, psychological torture, not just for an hour or two. It will haunt for the rest of the year that's incoming bound. Here is 2 minutes gone, not a goal. 3 minutes here now, not a goal. It might still continue in the same fashion for the next minute.
I was going to say, if it's going to be haunting you for the rest of the year, it's not going to be haunting you for very long at least, but I think it's indeed going to be a tiny bit longer as LU gets the 50 in his favor, but there's, of course, the block coming from reserves. Pass up to Psy. Can the shot be found? It's onto the backward once again. Perf putting it away. Now Elio quickly pushing it back, and you can slowly start seeing the speed being amped up from both these teams. They want to get a bit quicker, maybe finish it off, because we may be looking for that 20-minute overtime, Danny. I can guarantee you they would not want that.
Tough. If they want the ones to deny it, they've got to be the ones who provide the goods. We've seen they've done it in 6 worth of games here. They've done quick OTs in comparison of what we're talking to. But the percentage of the series completion, we're near enough at the 99% mark. This is the small percentage, the one bar that we want to be pushed over the line here. Bracket reset, a prize pool lift, a trophy hoisted into the air. Either or here, there is a moment, a tempo, and Ali will have to be the one to start from his own back lines if he is the one to do exactly that.
Because of course, that is to remind you, if TT Willhaben wins this, we're going to a bracket reset. They have to do it all over again. On the other hand, Irie Legacy, if they win this, they just take it all. They have come through the upper bracket. They've shown us their best side. Now they need to show it in the last 30 seconds, otherwise we have overtime. Psy looking for the control, can't find it himself. Elio bring the ball back high, but Resurse has the control. Can he get the second touch? Can he get maybe the third touch? A shot too weak and not getting past NKS, who now has an opportunity right here, presenting itself. Juju getting one final touch, making sure his team is alive.
Look at that. Golden text. 10 seconds easily went by. That's 5, 4, 3, and Perf, that's not his heart rate. It's easily in triple digits here, and Perf denied once again. This is VisionGaming Invitational 2 here on Irie Legacy. We have another OT. Do we have a champion to crown though?
Psy looking to finish it off by himself. Maybe some mechanics bringing it out, but the reserves not allowing it. As the ball gets pushed back into the middle, NKS has an opportunity presenting itself. Juju puts the ball back down to the ground. And reserves can't do much with this either. Perf now The man who has been denied before, can he do something this time around? Gets away from the demo, bring it back to the orange half all by himself. Psy now with the control going high, looking for the second, looking for maybe a flip reset, looking for the bump, but he won't find any of them.
And yes, into the middle. We've seen earlier, Irie Legacy had 5 attempts in a prior game to whip the ball middle. They failed to do so. Juju, likewise, had been sitting defensively back. He's now even push up. He wants a chance for glory. He wants to write his name, carve it in a wooden board here with a plaque air reserves. The professional whip the ball away here. 1 minute of additional time. Gone.
Psy now trying to take it easy, trying to maybe give some rest back into his team. Elio tries to maybe put it a bit quicker. Ball in front of the net. GG won't be able to get to it and decides the better of it. Now Elio has an opportunity here. No priv. Actually quicker than anyone else. Pass back to NKS. Shot is there. Reserves getting it to the side.
Talk about rest. They had 12 hours before today's match alone after a long and grueling day. Day number 3, a battle, a gauntlet near enough to get to this moment here as the shot goes wide. Cleared into the corner. Juju just hovering around till Braziers to put his fangs into the ball. Not happen. And Juju will run all the way back. Hold on to what he's got. 100 boost. Not going to be used this time around.
Juju not finding this shot right from the get-go. Can he get the follow-up front in the net? Reserves can't get to it. Perf now. Awkward position. It's Elio with a lot of boost. Can he get it into the middle? Looking for the pass. He gets the pass. And of course, Reserves is the one to deny him. Once again, Juju getting the pass on, but the pass cannot be found. It's just lacking that one final touch. Reserves once again, can he do it all by himself? No, the double denied. But 2 people committed for that, meaning Elio has to do it all by himself, but the defense still holding on strong from both of these teams. Just the boost amount is not going to be a lot, and the demo is probably very much liked by the TT will have on the defensive side.
Half of the additional games gone by here. Talk about a lack of boost. There's a lack of players defensively. Shot high, of course, by Raziers. But that there is a moment that could have been sniped. Maybe Scythe will be just thankful to see that shot go slightly wide. In case off the line here. That is sweat dripping off the controller. The analog stick might need a wipe down here if the bracket reset is required here by TV well, Warren. But they have got to get out. They have to get out. They're not being let out, of course. Our legacy is making them suffer, but they have broken free.
They have, but Juju puts them right back where they were beforehand. The demo as well, Reserves does he have to boost? No, he has not. Leaves the ball alone for Juju. Shot is there, but a tiny bit too weak. And the ball lands right on top of Psy. Has the control, but it's Reserves in the defense. He's not going to allow you to do that much with it. Now the ball back down. It's MKS trying to bring it back forth. Can he do something himself? No. But it's now Eliu with the follow-up. Ball drops back down. It's just a mess all around. There's no one there to follow up from the shots. Everyone trying to make sure that there is a defensive hold that they can survive as long as possible with Reserves now. Passing it back into the middle. Looking for one final bump. Does get it, but there's no shot to be found.
Juju will have an attempt here. Goes to the back wall. But Irie Legacy has to reset. As Book said, defense there. Just trying to get a hold into it. Oh, it's a cavity in terms of size or a trench. They've trenched themselves into a hole for 4 minutes. His perf shot a weak one by his standards. It is now tempting as that ball lingered far too long. Shaky bit of defending here as Raziers and Juju. Lack of communication here. This might not be the cleanest OT, but it will not last until somebody gets this goal here. A chance surely appear at some moment, but it has not been good enough.
The ball back to Eliu. Can he take control? Puts it back to the side. Gets the demo as well. This may be the opportunity we're looking for. Ball in front of the net. Juju can't get to it, but no one wanted to commit. Everyone giving each other a lot of faith. Ball back into the middle. It's Psy with the double. Brings it back down. He can't find it himself. The Reserves pushes the ball back away. It's perfect. The shot. Perf lets it roll on in. It's Perf to finish it all.
Just like that. 5 minutes near enough played. You saw Tia Wilbur. Sorry.
Will happen, Danny. Come on. The final.
Cracked at moments. We're even cracking at the thought that that near enough might have been the only goal scored. It was, mind you, but not the way we thought. Not anybody thought that was going to be the moment. A defence left wide open, an attack all in But when the house decides to take it all in, Spooks, the reward's given.
The reward is given indeed, and honestly, the ones with the biggest reward were the ones watching and were us, Eddie. A game 7 overtime, multiple opportunities for both these teams, and just well fought all around. Even I am shaking at this point.
For that moment there, as the countdown went down, I said Perth and the rest of them will have a heartbeat above the number there of triple digits worth. If they kept it below that, either they're liars or very good players to keep it all together. Because what a series we've been treated to. This is the second time this tournament has ran as a whole, Spooks. The second time we've went to a game 7. Not only do we played it, we've went to that distance, and it has been met in terms of highest of quality.
It was indeed the highest of quality. We've had 4 overtimes, Danny. The first one, only 33 seconds going in favor of Irie League. The second one, only 9 seconds going in favor of Irie League. Then eventually, Titelhaben got back with the 2-minute overtime. And this one, the final overtime, going in favor of Irie Legacy. Your own VisionGaming Invitational 2 champions. And I think they will be very happy to hear that.
They'll be certainly happy as well, but deserved runner-ups, mind you, what a lineup that as will be. And we will, of course, speak to the champions in due course. I'm pretty sure they will take a moment to have a respite as well too. But Spooks, to sit here and see what is going on here, I think it would be only right here to give the champions a respite. We are going to send it to a small quick break here. We will recap everything. We will tell you what it's worth. But join us back to hear from your VisionGaming Invitational champions. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Vision Gaming second invitational, and I would like to say there was more games to play. I would like to have said there was a bracket reset. As you can see by at least one smile on your face there, that is relief. Your champions of the tournament is of course Irie Legacy, and we'll start of course with Perth as well too, because I think it's only fair. You came for the interview and you heard to some extent, potentially, maybe not, of course, of the opposition's coach in the form of Gandhi. He has been throwing a slipper. You threw much more than a slipper. Spicy as Singer top right here in the first earlier games here. I mean, I would like to say you performed well, but not a sentiment that feels like that you agree with there.
I think I made it harder for our team than it needed to be. I think we could have swept that series, to be honest, but we just kept making stupid mistakes, but we got the dub anyway, so it's fine.
So, well, Priv, you were doing incredible in my eyes. We'll look a bit at Juju. What I found interesting is that you, at first, were very defensively playing. You were in defense a lot of times, being a solid third man, and then in the end, you started to creep up more and more into the offense. Was that a bit of a gameplay plan, or...?
Yeah, it was kind of the gameplay plan. I thought at first that we had to be defensive and solid to try to make them make the mistakes. But in the end, Rizes told me we should play fast, not let them any space. And it worked pretty well. We could outspeed them and make them do the mistake just by playing faster.
Well, playing faster certainly worked, and Perth, we didn't see Tooth in the final. It would have been certainly probably even closer than that final itself here. But what came into a bit of the nervy side of it was that game 7 OT there. We've seen 3 before at that point in time. It almost felt like it was to the point where both sides felt like they couldn't score. How did it actually feel on the pitch? Was it as slightly nervy, as shaky, as it sort of, it felt a bit disjointed? Did it feel like that? And if so, or if not, what actually did it feel like?
I mean, my old heart could not take that overtime.
Your art couldn't take it. Imagine mine's felt like.
It's just, I don't know, I usually just play this game for fun, and then, I don't know, grand finals, game 7, overtime, I don't know. It wasn't a good time, I just wanted it to be over, to be honest.
Well, a question for both of you, seeing as how you're now won the Invitational, of course. When you were first coming in here, into this tournament, you probably would have looked at the enemies and would have been like, yeah, this T2 Havenstein would have been one we probably would meet in the finals. Did the tournament go as you have had expectations of?
For me, it went most likely when I thought it would go. I expected TT will happen or EGE to go in the finals. For playing against both of them, yeah, I would agree that TT will happen is a little bit stronger. At least they probably used to play together for a longer time. And yeah, we were confident that we could beat every teams. But yeah, it's a tournament. You need to be in shape for every days, and we are happy that we won yesterday against them and today again against them, because it's very close. If we play another match, we might lose against them. It's really a good team.
Well, a very good team as well too. But before we let you go and celebrate, and as the new year comes in, as you are the deserving champions of this tournament, Perth, is there any shout outs, and same with yourselves, to your fans? And the last time I heard and give that question away, it was a straight no, so we'd like to take this opportunity this time.
Shout out to everyone that watched, shout out to everyone that organised it, you two casters as well. It's been a long job for you two, so big respect. Yeah, thanks to Vision Gaming, thanks to Irie, and yeah, Juju.
It was fun, and Praise said what I wanted to say.
What a cop out.
Man of few words, both of you.
Thanks to my teammates as well.
Well, it's great to have you both on, but gentlemen, we'll let you have the fun, of course, off stream, because you deserve the win the winnings and of course everything that has came through. But Spooks, with that being the case as well too, we won't ask Juju to play the flute as well too, because he will be too busy having his own celebrations to come as well too. So we might as well look at the overall standings of the tournament, and more specifically the top 3.
The top 3, of course, we saw it yesterday. Monkey Squad getting swept by both of the teams that ended up in the grand finals. They did incredibly well, taking home the 3rd place. Well, if you look a tiny bit up, what we saw today, a game 7. TT will have it just barely losing out onto Irie Legacy in the game 7, and meaning that they will take home the 2nd place. And then 1st place, of course, Danny. Well, I think we all know at this point who that is. It is Irie Legacy.
Certainly so there, and just before everybody went off there from our Legacy, there was a tempting look there from Juju. Yeah, he wanted to play there, but he's made his own tune, and he sung it quite well, and he certainly was riding high in May. But will there be a fall down later on? We will, of course, see every team, and we hope everybody will be doing well as well. With that being the case, we might as well round up the entirety of the tournament for our 2nd edition here. It's been a somewhat a shaky start for some teams in the tournament as well too, because we looked, and we'll start with, of course, a group Stroby Spooks, and we did have a bit of fun with the expense, and of course a bit of jokes obviously from our end, but the former finalists and potentially also winner, let's not forget that about, in the forms of ladies first, Irella stepping as substitution for that team, didn't come out well, being 5th, and of course FC Nessex being eliminated from that group. It was always going to be a tough task for them too.
It was always going to be a hard-fought battle, and the one team that actually made it was probably the one they were going to be fighting for that spot with. Atlanta Wave just barely qualifying for playoffs over them. Then you have Team Solid, the team that most of us didn't really expect too much from. We didn't know what to expect from them. Well, they showed up, and they showed up big time, showing what they're capable of. But then above them, the 2 teams that we kind of expected to see doing well, Aopic and Irie Legacy, of course, the eventual winners.
Well, undefeated, mind you, OPEC Gaming, they did beat our champions. Let's not forget about that. There is maybe a potential revenge match, of course, onto that one. But on the 2nd day, Group Trucks took to the centre stage as well. Sadly, we didn't see the Swiss legend himself, Mr. Top 48 of the European region, as he always has that cheeky smile on to me, of course. Hope he is doing well, and I know he is because I speak to him on a regular basis. But who didn't have a lot to speak about was VisionGaming Venom. Those Spooks, a very abysmal performance in terms of results-wise. The only team to be 0-5.
Not what you like to see, but sadly enough, it's what happens. And they tried their best. The game that we looked at them, they were playing quite well, but they just couldn't get themselves going the right direction, leading them to be the bottom of the table. Well, above them, just a tiny bit above, Miss Esports only winning against VisionGaming Venom with the sweep they got in the last game of it all, leading us up to Chrome GG 4th place. And this group, the top 4 was decided quite early on, Danny, but that top 4 was so incredibly close.
So much so, and to show you what the seeding as well too, but here will happen, Monkey Squad being 4-1, Igleas, and of course Grum being 3-2. That could have went either way. It was such a tight group as well too, but probably the small highlight that we did see from that stream as well, at least my one anyway, was of course the Miss Esports' new logo temporarily, but unfortunately a lot of sad faces from myself was being pulled there. But Spooks, what hasn't been a sad face was the eventual quarter-final stage of course, in the playoffs, because we only saw 2 games there. Wish we could see every game during the knockout stage, but we saw, well, I was going to say we. Let's be honest. You selected some of the best games available. We did see some slight surprises in the upper quarterfinal.
We did. Aopic beating Chrome GG was probably something we expected. The Monkey Squad taking it over Team Solid in the 3-0 was maybe a tiny bit less expected. We all thought Monkey Squad would take that, but the 3-0 is of course quite brutal. On the other end, TT will happen 3-0ing Atlanta Wave. Maybe an expected result. Atlanta Wave did fight well, especially in game number 2, but just weren't able to hold on long enough. And then our eventual champions, Irie Legacy, winning 3-1 over EGE. EGE, like I said before, deciding to show up inside the playoffs bracket.
Certainly so as well too. As you see, the rest of the bracket has went on to it. Teal Willhaben had to play quite early on in terms of that loser bracket, returned back to it, and they were one goal away from a bracket reset. Let's not forget that as well too. So as you see, the bracket was tight, it was fierce, but unfortunately not good enough on the day here to take it over the line here. It does show you what substitutions are capable of. It shows you what main rosters was capable of. But Spooks, that is 4 days worth of gameplay, competition done. It was only for fun. Certainly has been fun from the very beginning.
It has been. I've enjoyed myself to the fullest, but I think you can probably take a bit of notice that in that grand final, the fun got thrown out of the window quite easily. Both those teams were fighting to win. They wanted to win. Every single member of their teams wanted to take the victory home, and eventually we will say one more congratulations to Irie Legacy winning it all. Of course, the full roster being Juju, Tooth, Priv, Resource, and Carbo was actually also a sub, but didn't get to play.
Well, sadly, a bit unfortunate we didn't get to see him play. But with that being the case as well, there is so many thank yous we could have, of course, and we should be giving it out because they deserve every one of them, of course, for... Let's start even from the production side, of course, as well too. Because Rennie and Casilian, who's been in the background from production, admin as well too, who's worked out the logistics side of it, who's allowed us to be a tad bit cheeky, a bit of fun as well added on to your screens. We hope you appreciated all the hard work they have done as well. And let's not forget, of course, Visiting Games' very own Fragment as well too, who originally contacted the team, set everything up for the second edition as well too. But let's not also forget about the hard work as well that was set up a long time ago. In fact, the year a day too, Spooks, because that's where it all started as well too, where Jay Polly from Ladies First broadcast the event, done the work there as well too. There's so many people that has been came as a community, came to play, and more importantly came to support each other, which is the greatest message of 2022.
It is the most beautiful message. It's the way to end it all. It's the way to show it all. It's the way to show love and the way to get into 2022 like you talked about. But if we're gonna give one final thank you, I think we have to give one final thank you to VisionGaming for getting it all done, getting it all here. Of course, we've already thanked everyone. One more thank you to Sam, who of course had to fill in for you for a tiny day. I enjoyed my time there to the fullest. Finally some rest, finally some quiet and peace. And of course, a big thank you to myself and to you, Danny. I think we've had a wonderful time together, haven't we?
We certainly has. 2021 done and dusted. We had all the fun here. But, as we said, 2022, round the corner. Less than about 12 hours to go. Go and have some fun. Celebrate. Let your hair loose. Because plenty more Rocket League going to be. Be involved. Take part. And until the next time, from all of us here, stay safe and see you soon. Good night.